let me start by making a very controversial statement. The Bible, whether you like it or not, is the best manga. Now, I'm not talking about the several hundred manga adaptations of the Bible that have come out in the past 2 decades. I'm talking about the original 2,000-page manuscript published in Greek 1900 years ago. Now, why do I say that? The last chapter, Revelation 22, has been available to English speakers for the past 500 years, but the Bible's fan base is still going strong. That isn't to say that it's in its golden age, but it's still pretty popular for a manga that ended 1,000 years ago. The Bible has had so many spin-offs, anime adaptations, OVAs, and weird fan fictions that you could spend all of eternity just trying to count them. I feel like the Bible is really underrepresented in the manga and anime community because quite a lot of people gloss over just how good this manga really is. I find a lot of fans that simply view the Bible as teaching valuable life lessons and how to get to heaven, yada yada yada. No one reads the Bible simply for enjoyment, but when you don't do that, you really miss out on the true beauty that this manga holds. And my goal here is to expose that true beauty to the world, and obviously what better way to do that than to power scale different biblical characters. I'd like to say that this video isn't intended just towards Christians or those who have read the Bible. However, I do encourage you to read the Bible, but I'll explain everything you need to know, so you don't have to. For those of you who don't know, the Bible is a manga that ran from 4000 BCE to 100 CE. The protagonist, God, is omnipotent, able to bend reality with his will, and suffers from dissociative personality disorder. He has 3 alternate personalities, God the Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. Each has their own unique abilities and personalities, but when together they're kinda undefeatable. The Bible has many other major characters, including the main antagonist Satan. However, most of them die off rather quickly, so I won't go over them in this video. God and his alternate personalities go through some rather strange adventures as God tries to get humanity to love him. He fails at this and ends up killing all but 144,000 of the 108 billion humans, but how he goes about failing to make people like him is quite interesting. However, the main focus of this is not going to be the plot, but rather power scaling the characters. Power scaling the Bible is relatively simple, as there are generally 3 power tiers. The lowest tier is humans and animals, the middle tier is demons and angels, and the highest tier is God tier, which is pretty much limited to God and his personalities, and also people who can not be instantly destroyed by God. There are some crossovers between each species in the tier they're in. For example, Jacob is pretty close to God tier, but some people disagree with that, but I'll explain why later. Like Key and Dragon Ball, Chakra and Naruto and Hamon and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the Bible has its own form of spiritual energy that powers its characters' supernatural abilities, and this is known as faith. Faith allowed Jesus to walk on water centuries before Naruto could. Now, faith is mostly tied to a soul's belief in God, the source of all faith. If you believe that you can do something with God's power, in most cases you can pretty much do it. Faith is present in all members of the middle and God tiers, and it appears in minuscule amounts in the lower tier. According to Matthew chapter 17 verse 20, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. This one verse is extremely important to biblical power scaling, as it not only gives a frame of reference for the amount of faith a soul needs in order to move physical objects, but it also confirms the theory that supernatural tasks require vocal commands. There do exist a few different methods for acquiring faith. A decently common one is to have faith be given directly to you by God. It is usually accomplished either by God choosing you for some specific task or receiving faith through prayer. The latter gives you more freedom to do with your faith what you please, as you aren't just forced by God to perform some important task and then you get quickly killed off. Samson. The second method is to have the Holy Spirit parent you. Now, this has only been successfully done once. However, this method arguably works the best, as the Holy Spirit literally runs through your veins. The third and final of the main methods is to have seen the divinity of God with your own eyes. This happened to several of the disciples, namely Peter and Paul, and this gave them each a whole lot of faith in a rather short period of time. You can also accomplish this method by witnessing an angel, but that doesn't really work as well, and angels don't like people a lot, so I wouldn't try that. So yeah, that's how biblical power scaling works. I hope you enjoyed this brief introduction, and remember to subscribe if you want to see more weird biblical stuff.